Hey everyone, this is Mike, and this weekend the beta took place for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, just as many other people, I got baited in by the title. Not saying it in a bad way, because I actually quite enjoyed my time with the game. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4, was one of the first games in the Call of Duty franchise that me and a bunch of other of my friends started playing as well. So, as a little bit of backstory, I started playing stuff on the Nintendo 64 and then Nintendo DS and that kind of stuff as well. But my first PC gaming experience was with Call of Duty 4, and I actually stuck with the game for quite a long time, as my laptop couldn't really handle much more than just that. But then by the time we bought an Xbox 360, started switching over to stuff like Black Ops and Modern Warfare 3 and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, Call of Duty 4 was probably the one that I enjoyed the most out of the whole franchise, because it was a very standard experience, I guess you could say. It was mainly focused around your gunplay. Then every now and then, when you did get your kill streaks, you would be able to call in your UAV, your airstrike, or your chopper, and that was it. There wasn't really much more to it than just playing with your guns. Because once you had that chopper and you would stay on your kill streak, stay alive, your kill streak wouldn't reset either, so it would just be you playing with your gun. And this gameplay, this game, feels a lot like that again, and that's something that I quite enjoy, because a lot of the newer Call of Duties that came after Black Ops 2, they didn't feel as good to me, and the main reason for that is probably because of how the specialists worked. Or whatever they're called, basically those different characters that you could play that had their special ability. Which basically, for the people that haven't played it, it kind of worked like just an ability that would charge over time, and then when it was ready, it was pretty much a one-shot mechanic, pretty much. But it was something that felt really overpowered, while technically it isn't, because everybody has access to this one-shot mechanic, but it just didn't really work as a concept in a Call of Duty game, because Call of Duty has stuff like kill streaks. Now if you compare it to something like Destiny 2, a game that it's pretty much the shooter that I've been playing for the last 2 years, they have supers, and supers kind of are like these one-shot mechanics, but the game is balanced around that, so in PvP you don't really have kill streaks that you're working on, and thus getting killed by a super might feel bad. But on the other hand, you're not losing anything for it, whereas in Call of Duty, say you're on a 5-6 kill streak, you're getting close to that really strong chopper gunner or whatever, and then all of a sudden a guy turns a corner, mashes his specialist button, and you're just dead, and you have no counterplay to that. And it just felt really bad, so that being gone in this one feels really good to me. There's also a bunch of other stuff that just made it more like a standard Call of Duty experience, but it does build upon the stuff that was there back in Call of Duty 4, which this is a remaster of. Well, not a remaster, like a reboot, I guess you could say. Because the game is quite different in a lot of aspects. It's not just Call of Duty 4 with some extra new stuff on it. It is actually its own new Call of Duty, of course. But yeah, basically what is available to us in our create a class system is some very simple and standard stuff. You just have your primary weapon, which you can attach up to 5 attachments on, which actually changed the way on how the gun handles quite a bit, which I enjoyed a lot. So you can really change the gun to your kind of playstyle and experiment with different attachments and such, which felt really good. You have your sidearm, which is just like a normal gun, or like a rocket launcher or something if you want to take down kill streaks. Then you got to choose 3 perks, 1 out of each category. And then you have your lethal equipment and your tactical equipment, and that's it. And then of course you get to pick your 3 kill streaks, and you also get to pick a field equipment or something it was called, which is an ability that charges over time, but it's nothing that impacts your gameplay a huge amount. It was like a personal cover that you could deploy, for example, if you're capping a flag in domination or something like that, or like a resupply, which is just some ammo and stuff like that you could drop on the floor for your team. So nothing crazy like those specialists with their one-shot abilities and that kind of stuff, or at least not that I've experienced so far in the beta. That actually made it so that the gameplay felt a lot more focused around the gunplay again, which is something that I've always really enjoyed in Call of Duty. One thing I do have to say is that the time to kill feels a bit fast. Just headshots feel really powerful, as in they almost one-shot people. So that might be a little bit too strong, but in the end, once I got used to playing this game again, because in Destiny 2 the time to kill is incredibly slow, so it takes a lot of bullets to kill someone, whereas in this game it's like the complete opposite. You just almost one-shot people with a sidearm even. So it took some time to get used to that. But once I'd gotten used to that playstyle again, where I had to be a lot more careful, I guess you could say, and less reliant on my aim, it felt pretty good to play again, and I'm definitely gonna pre-order it, gonna play it again when it comes out, because I'm also quite interested in the story again. And overall, I think I'm just really happy that we have a standard Call of Duty experience again, something that I've been wanting for a long time, because as I said, like when I just wanted to play a Call of Duty, I'd probably just go back to playing COD 4 because that had the normal stuff, it didn't have those fancy kill streaks or the stupid death streaks and all of that kind of shit. That I really disliked about some of the later Call of Duties as well. Although I think death streaks kind of ended in Modern Warfare 3, I'm not quite sure. But basically, like, a lot of the Call of Duties had stuff that I wasn't a big fan of, that kinda hindered my enjoyment of the normal gameplay experience, whereas this one seems to be going back to some of this older experience, which I quite enjoyed. And I think that's pretty much all of my first impressions of the game. It feels good. I'm definitely gonna try it out when it comes out. Because this was a pretty decent beta. Of course, the beta did have some glitches. I sometimes had my HUD disappear and that kind of stuff. Made for some funny moments on stream though, because I was just like shooting at my teammates because I couldn't see the difference between my teammates and my enemies and stuff like that, because my HUD was gone. But in general, like, I hope those kind of things will probably be resolved by the time the game actually comes out. So with all of that being said, that's pretty much it for me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.